I don't think we get to see it enough.
And Cloud9's fate at TI was somewhat decided by the Roche.
That's true. That is true.
It is a big deal, and I think so many teams have been burned by it. They just really don't go for it anymore. But that is something that is definitely a big deal. Also, smoke ganks. Whenever I'm casting, I'm like, well, they are doing something over here in this area.
It's like pow. It's like something happened. Yeah. I think. But
I don't want to say smoke, but at the same time, if you lower your voice, they also know. It's like, why are they being quiet all of a sudden too? So you have to be just like as
caster. That's what you do. The caster mind games. You get like overhype about something that's not really going on. He ate a tree, and then they're like, what the hell's going on?
Purple stuff.
The mango.
The mango.
All right, guys. So the draft has now started. We don't want to be delaying things any longer. Let's hop into it. Man, look at that transition. Fancy. Here we go, Vici Gaming taking on Rave. First bands right out the gate. One of the more popular, what people feel like the new OP kind of hero, Undying. Quickly taken out of the picture from the side of Vici Gaming.
Yeah, they struggled with, I do believe it was, I think Empire at least had it in one of the games, maybe even two at D2CL. Something tells me that they definitely played against it at least once. He got nerfed a lot in the recent patch, though. Got, I think, 2 or 3 nerfs, actually, to different abilities and gains, I think. But Vici Gaming still considering it a top-tier pick and don't want to deal with it. And they banned Vici, too. Same story. Actually got nerfed in the patch as well. The Familiars now tank 1 hit less. Seems like Vici Gaming they're just annoyed with heroes that you need to hit X number of times. And then they pick Gyro, who's actually good against both. All right.
Not that good versus Visage.
Oh, the Flak Cannon doesn't hit familiars?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It used to, but it got removed. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so...
I felt like, though,
a strong pick,
from what I heard, though, the 4 hits was just a bit too much. Like, Visage was pretty much platinum tier at that point, if even that. 3 kind of balances out a bit.
I think 4 was okay if it's still, like, Troll and Jug with the Mask of Madness and stuff, but now that no one really does that anymore, it's a little bit overkill.
So Rave, they ban out early the Brood. Maybe a little respect there to Ice, who...
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I think they have 2 players who play it. Generally, the best counters a Brood as far as the laning stage goes. But yeah, if you're dealing with it this way, I don't think Rave would have banned it if they had the overall first pick themselves, because then they could just counterpicked it with their last pick of the first phase. But playing it safe here, Vici Gaming will be getting Shaker. Pretty good counter against Phantom Lancer. It kind of goes both ways. Phantom Lancer, if he's really good timing with the Doppelganger, can dodge Fissure or even Echo Slam, but then you need to be like Superman, but sometimes it does happen. Still, Phantom Lancer, do you think, Ben, Rave are picking this mainly for themselves, or is it like a combination pick? Because Vici Gaming play this on How all the time. So would they get this against another team in first phase? What do you think?
I think they could have easily banned it. It's not good versus Gyro for multiple reasons. Firstly, Flak just kills everything. Secondly, you can just rocket the main one. If he double walks, it still trails him. I saw this matchup a lot during the Red Bull playoffs, and Phantom Lancer lost every single time. I think Phantom Lancer was like 0-4 versus Gyro, at least when I checked the statistics not too long ago. And even prior to this patch, these 2 heroes have just been a big mismatch.
Yeah, I remember I was talking with Banana Slim Jamma at Red Bull, because he's a huge Phantom Lancer player, and I wanted to ask him what he thought about, having to go against someone like Gyrocopter, because, well, if he's not banned, he'll probably be seeing play, with this patch as it stands right now. And having the ability to be able to clear out all those clones very easily with a Flak Cannon, use good AoE, and be just such a dominating force in the late game that can even match up with someone like Phantom Lancer. He felt pretty confident about it, but yeah, based on results, it seemed like Gyrocopter seemed to always have his number.
I would think it's just simply you just don't pick it. Unless you're doing something a little strange. I have seen some like off-lane Phantom Lancers or dual off-lane Phantom Lancers, but even then, I mean, it's still a little weak. You can only doppel walk so many things, and Gyro has Flak, he has his ultimate, and then on top of that, you're going to take a lot of Rocket Barrage in the face since he's a melee. So I just don't like the matchup at all, personally.
And it's really a really great thing about Gyro as an opener in general is this patch with the 0 cast point on Rocket Barrage, he became a lot better as support. So it's a very open-ended pick where we're talking a lot about Flak Cannon as a core, but we've seen lots of teams experiment with him as support. As recently as yesterday, we saw Alliance play it on Mad with pretty good success in that game. He transitions really well too. Like, it's all you want in a hero. He's exceptionally good at the level 1 rune fight. You basically, he's really good at chasing heroes down, can get boots early, and beats every single hero in the game, I believe, in a one-on-one level 1. So you get a lot of aggression out. Then come mid-game, you have great AoE control, which is something you're looking for in your support, and then he can just transition into a core. Like, he's the whole package right now.
Yeah, so you can team fight, you can catch up through Ancients. Like, there's just so many things you can do with him.
With the 1-2 punch coming up from both sides, though, they're not revealing a whole lot as far as what the overall gameplay could be, whether they're looking to kind of take down the objectives quickly, end this out in maybe a 30-minute time window, or if they're looking to prolong the game a bit. But as we move to that point, the second wave of bans flies out. Vici Gaming removed the Ancient Apparition along with the Bristleback, and on the side of Rave, they rid of the Clockwork and the, well, Queen of Pain. So with that, Rave are going to respond. They pick up the Lina here. Could be your mid lane Lina. We have yet to find out. Rave, that team that we don't really know what they like to do with this kind of a patch. And now we look to Vici Gaming, gentlemen.
I think it might be a little bit risky if they don't run one of these as a core. Lina Line as a support duo, both very fragile, and Shaker deals very well with a roaming support duo like this, where you can actually just fissure and disengage more or less. And if you play these two in a support position and neither of them gets really good farm, the recovery curve is pretty steep for both heroes, I feel. So I would expect this to be a core Lina for now, at least.
But we do get the Pew Pew lineup, the Laguna and the Finger. Has a lot of hate and a lot of burst.
Good in theory, doesn't work out necessarily that often. It's like Lion plus Dagon. It's like, it sounds good. Oh my gosh, like 1,000 damage? No, it just...
Yeah, or Pugna Lion on the same team. Wow.
Wow.
Hey man, I love Pugna.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a good pick for Vici, actually.
Well, Purge was boasting about this before we even started the pregame and how much he really loved Shadow Demon. There's Cinderin. But he's going to be picked up. He has been seeing a lot more of the spotlight as of recent. Teams have been picking it up.
Could even be aggro try.
That is true, yeah.
He's an exceptional counter pick to Lion. He's really good with Gyro. This is a great roaming support duo.
He's even good against PL, too.
Yeah, it's not support duo anymore. Never mind. I guess they don't play Core Shaker. But yeah, great against PL as well. If you're godlike, you can dodge. You can disrupt Finger or Laguna Blade if you're that sick. Or if you get a little lucky. He's a solid overall pick. The biggest buff to him this version, of course, now that we've introduced Mutant Break as concepts in the game that are a little bit different from what we've had in the past. Aghanim Scepter, he's a support that benefits exceptionally much from getting an Ag Scepter. You have 3 charges of break that you can apply.
Yes.
The cast range of Demonic Purge is really long, and he's one of the best supports at dealing with single core lineups, especially if they're melee. So if we're assuming this is a core Lina, she can scale with farm, but generally you see them taking the... Alright, maybe not. We'll see that in a moment if that's the plan for Rave, but so far... If you look at Rave, generally 1 physical damage carry here, right? Lina can take that path, but we don't see it that often. So SD, very solid pick.
Yeah, very bursty, very magical on the side of Rave, if you will. But an immediate response from Viper. They didn't take long to think about that one, Ben.
Viper owns like all their heroes.
Yeah, this is a really good pick.
What makes it so good for any of the noobs out there like me?
Corrosive Skin, firstly, I think is really important. Secondly, if it's a mid Lina or a mid Zeus, Viper's just going to have complete free farm as well as be able to have some kill potential in the lane, which I think is really important when you have a Viper, because then your supports don't have to come around. It's a nice mech carrier. They have a lot of burst on this side of Rave, and being able to have Shadow Demon clone him and get more corrosive is pretty dirty as well. I mean, he's just their front line for their tank so that everyone can do their thing.
Yeah.
And something we tend to talk a lot about in casting in previous versions is how much every single caster loves pipe. And it never gets picked up, and we're like, get a pipe, but the teams obviously have their reasons to not get it. It's been buffed in this patch. It gives a 10% magic resist aura now, which is a really big deal. And if you get that on a hero like Viper, who is a carry, or not a carry, but a core hero that can afford to get 2 utility items, get a mech and a pipe is not out of the question here. And you actually, I can't see Rave's lineup killing the Viper before mech pipe comes out with these heroes. It's way too tanky. There's no.
He's just a great front line, and he's going to get vision of everyone in the team fights, so they can hit like sick fissures and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, they can't deal with him in the front line. They can't really kite him. Like, you don't really use like Lion Hex to kite. You use it to kill. So that's going to be pretty difficult if Viper gets a decent amount of farm.
Do you think part of the reason we don't get to see pipe as much, and I agree, I love the item, but we have Glimmer Cape now, and if you get 2 of them on your team, pipe almost feels inadequate. I mean, would you agree with that?
I mean, they're different, right? Glimmer Cape's for one person, pipe's for your whole team, and one's passive, so...
But let's say
it depends on Vici's last pick here. Which one is more worthwhile? I think if your lineup is looking to say peak at minute 25, pipe is just incredible. It's extreme value at that point in time relative to the amount of damage. Generally, at 25 minutes into the game, I want to say more than half the damage of most lineups comes from magic. So it's extremely good at that point in time. If you're looking to play late game, then Glimmer Cape is probably more useful for the fade, for the quick, like the percentage-based reduction over a short amount of time is incredible against a hero like Zeus. But for me, when you look at Vici Gaming's lineup, I don't think they're looking to end this game very early. But if their last pick is, I think pipe is a better pick than the why can't I remember what
Glimmer Cape.
Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, Glimmer Cape's really good for how people proceed about sieging high ground nowadays too. It's like the most farm hero is up in front, and giving him 55% magic resist is just wasting. Oh, so it's a core shaker.
So we're going to go back a couple of versions here, gentlemen. Mirana Shadow Demon, potentially. And yeah, with Super Ice and Hal being there, this is going to be the good old annoying running around peanut butter and jelly combo. My lady, my love, Mirana and Shadow Demon. And I felt this was mentality that we like to have when the patch first rolled out. I was grinding a lot of pubs. You know, Charlie was playing with me, and we were trying to figure out what do we got to do in this patch to get the wins in, at least in pub games. And we found out it was annoying the hell out of the mid laner, harassing him, getting in their face. And I was like, well, I'm gonna grab a Mirana. That seems like one of the best bets you can go for there. Just lob out those arrows, get them frustrated, and we got a win there. And it felt relatively easy. Now I don't know if that transitions over more into competitive play, but something like a Mirana Shadow Demon where you roam early, does that seem like a playstyle that could fit nice with the patch now?
I think so.
Yeah, it's risky though, as when you have roamers. Like if you miss like 3 or 4 arrows at the start, then you just become supremely underleveled, and if you don't, even if you hit an arrow, you might not be able to get a kill. So I'm a little bit surprised to see with Vici go for a little bit risky of a pick. I think Leshrac maybe would have been like more stable, but I like the Mirana.
I feel like Leshrac is risky in another way, though. It's like playing Leshrac against this Rave lineup, he just dies. It feels like they have so much spell burst early on. I mean, sure, if he gets core tier farm and he can tank up, then
you can always transition out though. You can just go back and lightning spam. You can like farm newts and you can push towers. But I mean, Mirana, like in team fights, useless. I mean, Moonlight Shadow is pretty good.
That's true.
But
but against Zeus, how good is it really? It's true. Vici Gaming is a team that historically has played a hell of a lot of Shadow Demon dual roaming early, though. Even when other teams didn't favor it at all, we still Vici try to pull it out. They even used it at TI4, I believe, in some of the series with varying success. But when no one else was playing that stuff, they loved playing it. And FY Fenrir are, in my opinion, the best support duo at playing roaming early. So it really fits them.
Their work together, it's like Laurel and Hardy. It's like Batman, Robin, whatever you want to call it. These guys put in the work, and they have for quite some time. And with that, folks, here we go. It's our first match, our first series, our first best of 3 for the Summit 3 presented by Gigabyte. We're going to give quick shout-outs. Ob's work today is going to be done by Mott locally. We also have Knoxville, who's going to be joining us in booth. He's going to be providing some stats for everyone, so if you like your numbers, he'll get you covered on that front. I'm Kyle Guy. We're joined, of course, with Merlini, Cinderin. Here we go, gentlemen. We didn't get to talk much about it, by the way. The last pickup for Rave was the Beastmaster grab. He already was feeling pretty strong at the back end of 6.83, especially in the hands of someone like Fata, who would just do serious work, an exhibition almost in his mid lane. Now, since then, has received a nice little perk. Base damage, I believe, went up, and the casting points have also went down a hair. I imagine that this is also just one of those top picks, and more often than not, we see him in an offlane position like here in the hands of Rior. But if he's able to put the levels together, get the Primal Roar, maybe get the Blink Dagger, maybe go the Zookeeper build, he wrecks house.
It's not an easy matchup. The Earthshaker, I think, is a very underrated as a solo hero, especially in the safe lane. He's actually really strong, especially with the new enchant. You can just enchant and get like every single creep.
Yes. Oh, bottom lane, we're getting a little bit of footsie here. Follow up Earth Spike. Here comes Hao. Get the hell back as he fires out his little rocket barrage, and they get the D ward here. Nice little early skirmish to kind of fight out the wards and blocking out the pull camp. But Vici Gaming with this aggro setup looking to take control and really give it to Rave early.
It can't be Fenrir that gets caught out, because he's the one that needs to disrupt.
You might have just jinxed him, Ben. He takes a bit of damage. Oh, Earthspike going to be coming up short. FY, he's like, I'll bodyguard it. Jumps out in front that takes it for him.
I know he wants to initiate with the disruption, but in an aggro try, you can't be caught out of position, because if you give up like 2 kills, I would say, it's almost game over for the tri lane. So he has to sit back, and if someone else gets caught, whatever, they get disrupted and you reset. But the way that this is going...
Jo kind of stepped in, but it's still going to get connected on a Ninja Boogie. Oh, huge rocket barrage damage, and they're going to get the first blood. And it's, of all people, Hao who's going to grab it, and he's feeling it here. My goodness, now that is Gyrocopter 6.84. Rocket barrage after rocket barrage, and he walks away with a twofer.
He even got nerfed a little bit before this in the very new patch here. I think he lost 4 base int, I believe. That's 52 mana nerf.
Yeah, he's a dumbass now.
But still, more than enough. You see Rocket Barrage level 1, 90 mana cost. You can actually cast it almost 4 times on your start mana pool.
It pretty much makes like Aquila almost a necessity, I would say, in the side lanes.
It looked like Jo wanted to block the arrow, but he's like, I might actually die if I get hit with this, though. So, sorry, buddy. And he kind of steps back, and Ninja Boogie. It looked like it was going to be close, but he does go down now. Rior moving on forward here, trying to bully back Ice, but, you know, it's Ice after all. Many consider him one of the best, if not the best, offlaners in the game. So he is going to be cool, calm, and collected. He's used to aggression, and it's just a solo matchup going against the Beastmaster. They'll be able to get their own. Top CS, though, does belong to the Viper, 15-6. In comparison to the Zeus, 8-0. Viper is doing work in the mid lane, but that could have been expected.
And this lane is even worse for Rave. The PL has 2 CS against the 15 of Gyro. He can't do anything.
They could have stopped that first blood, I think. I think he could have just... I mean, it's not easy, but he could have double walked and then used the illusion to block the arrow.
Oh.
But that's... You have to do it like as soon as you get disrupted. You still get double walk at level 1, I think.
He had Lance already. He lanced a couple times.
I think they thought they were going to be able to get a kill on the returning.
I mean, they were close, too.
They were really close
to getting first blood.
But unfortunately, that's a mistake. Super. No respect here for Chrissy in the mid lane. He's just looking to take control on this Viper. That gets scary.
Yeah, in this matchup, it's like really difficult. Like some people might get just level 1 bolt to last hit, so you don't tank corrosive every single time. Like as a Viper, you want to actually get hit by arc in this every single time. And he went 2-1-2. I would have expected a 1-1-3, but it's more aggressive.
Ooh, Disruption Soul Catcher from downtown, not going to be connecting. Ninja Boogie will avoid that bit of harassment and just kind of has to walk away.
Surprised they didn't try to turn on Fenrir there. When the arrow misses, they're actually out of steam in that fight. They have nothing to bring to the table, and I think I believe Lina is level 2 and has both Light Strike Array and the Dragon Slave and Lion there as well with both spells available. They might have just... Oh, never mind. Okay, she's only level 1, so... Alright, makes it more understandable.
Not having vision down here is just brutal.
That one hits, and that's a death. This is the Shadow Demon Mirana we used to know and love back in 681, and they're not really roaming around outside of this bottom lane, but they are getting the job done here. So, you know, if we look at the spread of the map in the very early game, Rave are losing bottom, they're losing mid, and I wouldn't even give them a whole lot of credit for the top lane. Though, Beastmaster 23-12, still Ice is able to throw together 17-1, and I imagine certainly a great amount of XP with it.
He went this summon build, and it's not going to be terribly useful in team fights, but just because of Flak, Call Down, as well as like Echo. There's so many things to actually kill them, so it's definitely good at helping them win the lane, definitely good at giving them vision so they can set up for ganks later, but I'm not sure how useful that's going to transition out of the laning phase.
Yeah, we see this ward. There is a rotation planned here from Ninja Boogie, but he's currently level 1. He's waiting for Roar to become available for the Beastmaster, which it actually is now, and to get a position in the lane, but If he moves up here, first of all, they know that Lina's missing from bottom. Ice is playing very cautiously, and if Lina tries to move up, will be spotted by the ward. What do you think about leveling Dragon Slave level 1, by the way? I feel like it's very rare. You usually see Light Strike Array, of course, for the stun. If you land it, it's generally way better than Slave.
Well, if you're
a
mid, it's certainly acceptable, but I don't know. I think they. I would have suggested Light Strike Array.
There's a mango.
A lot of traits here for that rune. They all want it. Who's going to get it? Ninja Boogie is going to go down. That poison and the Viper Strike coming out from Super is just a bit too much. Ice eats a bit of damage, but he'll be able to walk away from the boar. Chrissy, though, the orb walking here, is it going to be happening? Super is not going to be able to catch up. Chrissy, he's like, I don't want to let him go without a fight. Ninja Boogie is already back from the dead. Dragon Slave's going to be popping on out. Now Cass gets off a very nice Earth Spike. Will he be able to take down the Viper? He pops his wand. Still alive and well. Can he take out Chrissy before he goes? He can with the help of a fissure. Might have gone down considering it, but Ice, the one to benefit from that kill. Now looking to run away here. Ninja Boogie, who is now level 2 and has Light Strike Array, is not going to get an opportunity to stun him. 5-1 now for Vici Gaming.
Sin was talking about how it's so hard to come back with these supports, and I completely agree. Like, a level 2 Lina is just food. Viper can just pretty much right-click her like twice and Viper Strike, and she's dead, as we saw at the top rune, and I think it's only going to get worse for her.
Yeah, I don't know what the recovery plan is for Rave here. I think they have to use the Beastmaster. He can't play in that top lane anymore. He needs to open up the map for PL. PL has 6 CS. He has less than a CS per minute in the safe lane as
Chrissy's in trouble. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, Primal Roar. Chrissy's still going to go down, but can they at least get redemption for their fallen comrade in the Zeus? It looks like they will. Super gets trapped, but the Lion also will be going down. Oh, the Echo. Maybe not necessary, but they also get the follow-up kill on Ninja Boogie Brior. Walking away, but it's good old Hao who says, hey, how's it going? I'm Gyrocopter, and takes him out. 4-for-1 trade. Arrow flies, but it's an air ball. Not going to be catching on anything, and with that, they'll add some pressure on the Tier 1. Guys, this is not looking good for Rave at the start.
Honestly, they were lucky to get the Viper kill. Ice was there maybe like half a second earlier with the fissure. They don't get a kill at all. So, I mean,
this is looking pretty grim. Speaking of Ice, by the way, he played a melee versus melee lane, which is where you usually see Enchant Totem prioritized a lot. I really like in this game that Ice is maxing out the fissure for rotations. He realizes that the way they're going to be playing the game, the intention here is not for him to become a physical core, because they already have Gyro and Viper to deal physical damage. So he wants to be basically a utility with very high levels early on and probably getting the blink first. And you're seeing these fissures. Like, if he lands a three-man fissure like that, a lot of the times that is a hell of a lot of damage that would basically have gone to waste with a level 1 fissure.
It's in complete contrast to the Beastmaster, who went the max lane control with the summons, and they need I say a lot more damage. Usually expect it from the Lina, but without max wild axes, it's really difficult.
Smoke moving to the top lane. I don't want to say this is desperate, but you can just sense that Rave really want to be getting something done here. But
it's desperate.
They're all off the radar, and Ice begins his turtle up right now. Feeling a bit uncomfortable here. Even Fisher's out, but bottom lane, that's where the kill is going to be struck, and it is going to be Jo who goes down. Struggling game for him so far. His laning stage has been very abysmal. He's managed to get up to 23 in OCS, but you could just see how far down he is on those charts. Now top lane, they do scout out Ice. There's going to be the Hex, the follow-up Earth Spike, but there goes the Moonlight Shadow, and I wager they don't have the detection at the ready here. So they're not going to get their kill. Rave try to make something happen at the top. They end up losing their PL on the bottom. Vici Gaming are looking to just swallow up Rave at this point.
They even get some information here for FY. He might try for it.
He will land it. Read that like a book. Gets the kill. Zeus goes down, says, how about you just take that ward, and see you later. Man.
This is actually pretty good ward placement as well, because the Zeus might expect that Mirana was down there in the first place because of a ward that she saw him doing the camp, but this is probably not the first ward he would expect. I mean, he can go there and bolt, but how likely is it that that was where the ward was at minute 9? Like, how would they have got in there in the first place? So I don't think this one is going to be dewarded soon, and it might open up for another kill.
Yeah, they have another one in the lane right next to it as well, so neighboring aggressive wards for Vici Gaming there. So They're going to see these kind of TP rotations in. They'll be able to have a good read on the map, and Fenrir might be able to get the open up here. Rior, Boar blocked. Very nicely done from Rior. It could save his life, but they have the call down. He turns back. Primal Roar. He might end up going down. They get the gyrocopter down, but they end up losing their Beastmaster. But Fenrir could go down there after. Oh, what a fissure. Combo breaker stop. They still want blood. They move on forward, and they're going to be able to get the kill with the help of the Spirit Lance. Now Ice trying to run away here. He has the haste rune, and he is hustling his way out. So it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, Super going to even things up, makes it a 2-for-2. Just when it looked like Rave were finally going to start getting something their way, something like that happens, and we're back to even, which I have to say favors Vici Gaming.
Nice board block. It would have gone so much worse had he not gotten the roar off.
They wouldn't have got a single kill, basically. So it's one of the advantages Beastmaster does have against this particular roaming duo.
Sad face.
Oh,
Some
man.
can't do it.
So close, yet so far. Sorry about your ward.
Wait, that doesn't see it?
Nope.
Nope.
It really looks like
It's
it
like,
does.
I mean, that's a record right there, it feels like.
That's literally a millimeter away.
A millimeter. We'll go
We
down.
don't use millimeters in Dota. Sin.
Yeah.
What range is that?
That's a mango. 1 mango distance. All right. Bottom lane. I love that Ice has the pet. Wasn't he the one just talking about and bitching on Twitter how he doesn't even like pets? He's like,
We
well,
need to wait to
we
disable
need to wait to turn
pets.
it off. He's like, meanwhile, though, I'll abuse it, turn it on, and hopefully it distracts the opponents. I find it very
If
distracting.
there is a player that plays on distraction, it really is exercise with like courier baits, dropping
Snowballs in
items.
1v1 matchups. Oh, man. Or Cole. Oh, it's just ridiculous.
I like the way Super's been playing, though. He's always been in the lane, like, playing pretty aggressively and not farming the jungle for his mech, let's say. And he's just always like, okay, I'm up in your face. What are you guys going to do about it? And Rave pretty much can't do anything about it. So that's almost always a free lane for Vici to do whatever they want.
12 minutes, and Vici Gaming are almost at that 10K net worth advantage. So feeling like a pretty good welcome mat here for Vici Gaming in the first match of the Summit 3. Rave.
This is before Earthshaker has his blink, too. He's at like 2,000 gold.
There's plenty more to come for Vici Gaming. This is just the opening appetizer here, and it has been delicious for them so far. For Rave, they need to shake this one off. Hail Mary arrow. See you later, Bird. Hey, Bird. You're dead.
100 mana for 60 gold. I would do that every time.
It's
a
a
pretty good
reverse
trade.
clarity.
Now, looks like Vici Gaming, they've been getting a wealth of kills. They want to continue going down the docket of objectives here. Top tier 1 seems to be next. How trying to be the zoner here, keeping the Beastmaster at bay. Not looking like Rave are going to consider contesting or defending it. They are more obligated to just take this opportunity to find their own bits of space and scraps of farm that they were, neglected in the opening part of this game. So Jo takes the reins of the bottom lane, adding some pressure onto the tier 1. The rest of his troops mostly working in that mid lane, and well, here comes the Vici Gaming army as a 5. Get that boar out of my face! Take him down, turn back, and they're going to go right for the tier 1.
So it looks like Rave has finally taken control of their own jungle at the expense of 4 sentries and 2 observers. And that's definitely necessary because PL needs an area to farm. He can't really farm stacks that efficiently, and he's only been given time to split push pretty much the last 30 seconds of this entire game.
It looks like Jo wants to get the hell out of here, yeah. I mean,
It's a good play from him, though. Forcing a rotation like this when you're really far behind is very valuable.
That means there's one less TP to help out mid lane, but there's going to be someone to show up,
Oh.
plus a Moonlight Shadow. LSA
Very poorly timed.
very off the timing here. Could be a bit of nerves here for Ninja Boogie, but potentially a lost opportunity, so they have to step back and away. Vici Gaming, they're saying, we're not going to hand anything over easy, not even a tier 1, to give you a little bit of economy back on your side.
And that's the problem we talked about during the draft, that they actually can't kill the Viper, so he can more or less hold the tower. Nice find here for Rio.
Yeah, not going anywhere. Chop down the Mirana. No extra bounty for that one, unfortunately, but hey.
They also, if they were smart, they looked at the Earthshaker blink with the Zeus ult too.
Yeah.
So it could have been scouted. Oh, wait, he
think-
didn't have it yet.
It was on. Yeah, it's only on the courier. So.
I thought he already bought it. What happened?
It's on the pet.
Well, if they're smart, they guess it's coming out now.
Not on hand, but that illustrious Fox thing is en route here. Ice a little bit of harassment from the Axe. How shows up with still relatively low life and mana, but he does get the call down out there. And without the fissure at the ready, the TP out will be successful.
That was a good heads-up TP.
Yeah.
What do you think for Gyro in this kind of game? You said homing missile is really good against PL. Do you think he gets 1 value point?
Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't skilled it yet. This is the good old school Gyro build with 0 points in missile, and you get stats even over it, or maybe 1 value point. But they played try versus try, and he didn't get a homing missile point. It makes me think he might actually not even want to go for it.
I mean, 1 point is just too good. Later in the game, you're not using your rocket barrage that often, so you're generally in excess of mana, unless you never die in team fights.
But that -4 int though.
It's worth it. 1 kill, dude. You get 1 kill, you buy a mantle, easy.
Ice got that Blink Dagger. He did farm in lane with it, so if Rave were paying attention, they will know that this Earthshaker has his mobility tool and it's something to keep an eye on. We talked a bit about Gyrocopter and what he should do and how he should level.
Oh, J.O.
What a spot out. Ice flexes his new Blink Dagger, jumps down with the dunk on J.O.'s head, and it turns into a solo pick. Ice is on a killing spree. Oh, the disrespect right there.
That was so greedy from J.O. too. He walked out there, threw out a lance, and just started TPing in the fog, and Ice all over that immediately. I mean, you can understand it, right? He's desperate for farm. He's not really getting anything. He kind of has to try, but I don't feel like that was the time to do it. When you're literally almost next to an Earthshaker that has a blink as PL, you can't really afford to make that play. It's too easy to counter.
With that, Vici Gaming will push towards the tier 1 there on the bottom lane, while Rave make the best tier at the top. Moonlight Shadow to come out here. Doesn't feel like it's being used defensively, but it could be scouted out. It looks like Rave just kind of see it happening, and they're going to double back a bit.
Gyro does need his BKB soon. He can get owned by the Necro Book just with all his damage. Problems, too much damage kills everything.
But top 3 net worth, all belonging to Vici Gaming. The next closest for Rave at 5.4k is the Beastmaster here. And for this Beastmaster, he's going right Zookeeper. Necro Book, level 2. What are your thoughts?
I think he has to. They need the book to counter ward and give PL an opportunity. And Beastmaster kind of has to compensate for their lack of damage right now by being, I would say, their primary damage dealer when he has the book 3. No one on the team deals as much damage as he does. And I'm saying that with a team with Zeus, but
that they're going to pick up. That was pointed out. It's very important versus their lineup. Lena's not going to get an Ags, I mean, prior to 35 minutes. So they really don't have any way to deal with it on Lion, Lena, as well as Zeus. Even Phantom Lancer. Like, he does a fair amount of magic damage before. Yeah. So Glimmer Cape plus BKB, and, I mean, you'd have to suspect an Aegis coming out from Vici.
Oh, yep. Rior dishes out the yell. Going to be locking down Hal here in place. Plus disruption, they connect with the stun, but there's that Glimmer Cape coming up from Friend Rear. Now they look to turn it right back around. They drop down the call down with the TP away. Beastmaster will be good to go. Ninja Boogie finds himself into a corner and will flee. They make it out with their lives, but Vici Gaming just continue to show that they are going to be the bully in this setup as they try to shove Rave in a locker.
Do you feel like Vici Gaming could just go do Roche like whenever they want? I feel like they have full map control. Sure, you're playing against the Beastmaster, but now with the Glimmer Cape, BKB, and Disruption, there's like no avenue of initiation for Rave right now. And they're going to take the tower. I would imagine Roche is next on the menu here, but Ice is going in. Oh, this could hurt.
Got 2 and the Echo. Zeus, see you later. Ninja Boogie, you got to go as well, my man. They're just cleaning out. Howard just picked up that BKB, shows it off, zones them back. They double back, they'll take the tier 2, and I would imagine after that point, they could go for the Roche if they'd like. Or, you know, who knows, maybe they feel like they're that far ahead. They just go right for high ground here, but the tier 2 will be successfully taken down.
Oh, this is Medallion, this is Roche for sure.
Yeah, they're going to take out the wave that's in front of them and then make a closer move. Keep Jo back in at bay, but they still have that tier 1 to kind of get closer to the Roche pit with.
What is Jo going for?
And not straight Diffusal. It looks like he hasn't invested in any of the components yet.
Diffusal, I mean, Diffusal you need to win fights, and he's not going to win fights versus BKB at this point in the game. So
I'm wondering if he's considering Radiance, but I don't
think Radiance.
That is not going to work.
Just a Yasha.
I think Yasha.
Yeah, there we go.
You can't go either of those two.
There it is.
Radiance or Diffusal.
Yeah.
I mean, Vici is just itemized so well with the Glimmer Cape, with the Mag, and the BKB. There is so much room for error in the fights. Like, even if they get hit by, like, you know, 3-man Lena stun and Gyro gets roared, it really doesn't matter as long as they get the Glimmer, one of those 3 cooldowns off.
Yeah, Viper has a BKB and 250 as well. That's basically the Roche kill if they wanted to go for it, or they just wait for the BKB before they do the Roche. It's hard to see what Rave can do at this point. Like Ben said, the itemization on Vici makes it very difficult. You see them trying these kind of picks in mid where they basically force out a disruption with Roar, and then they follow up with Lina, which is of course a great follow-up when the enemy team roars, or disrupts.
Yeah.
Their damage, it's just not there. Like, they actually can't kill a single hero in Vici Gaming's lineup if Shadow Demon is there. He counters all the heroes right now. Every single one.
Another one of those smoke plays coming out from Rave.
Yeah,
we saw
have
earlier.
to try something.
Yeah, the last time they tried something, it didn't work out too well. This time, we'll see. Ice. Uh-oh. Able to blink back it away. How? He does get the BKB off, but regardless, the Primal will connect. And now he looks to turn back. They want to run away from the big glowing airplane. And get that Necro Book out of my face. He's going to actually use the call down for it. And he keeps him back. There goes the Thunder God's Wrath. Will give him a little bit extra detection. And, well, the fissure flies, but...
Hey, there's purple stuck out.
Yeah. They don't know it, though, it seems like.
They have a ward. I think they saw him run down there.
They probably expected he TP'd out. And regardless, there's a way more valuable pickup happening right now. This is 100% free.
Yeah.
Roar is down, Zeusol is down. They're very healthy, have the mech ready. Rave can't contest this at all.
I mean, what items will help out Rave right now? That's like what's really startling to me. Like, if they get Yules, it doesn't matter. They just Glimmer Cape it or BKB the initiation. They really, I would say, the biggest pickup that they can possibly get is Ags on Lina, so they can just straight kill the gyro. But even then, that's very unlikely with the position that this Lina is
The
in.
current net worth of 1,600.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's hard to
And then,
imagine.
Like, what else? Diffuse maybe like 2 or 3 more items on PL, but that's also not coming out for 20 minutes. And just no one has items.
It is a steep hill to climb here for Rave. Not the opening show they wanted to have here at the Summit 3, I'm sure, especially after that month off. But maybe they're looking to consider this a bit of a warm-up. Still got plenty of game ahead of us here as Cast
That's bold. He has Aegis.
tries to run in on Hal, but
In
that's not
BKB.
happening. So,
If I said Blink ready there, that was a kill.
uh-oh. Look who's looking to cut them off on the way back here. Chrissy, you better run. Oh, and he's running right towards trouble. The arrow will be able to scout, but they don't even need to go that way. There's Chrissy. We'll be able to TP. Not happening. Fenrir, easy disruption's going to be there. They're going to get the kill. Goes down. They scout up the side, and they're not going to see anyone else. Oh, man. They were just
good rotation.
one
This
step
is-
ahead.
Yeah, they rotate, they secure tier 2. This is just as good from Rave, though. They will be getting, is that their second tower of the game? Looks like in the mid lane. Beastmaster, of course, one of the benefits of getting the Necro Book. We focus a lot on the True Sight and the ability to get solo pickoffs, but of course an incredible pushing tool as it always has been. Very nice multi-purpose item for the hero. And maybe they're looking to get 2 towers. This would actually be a pretty good trade, but alright, that is not happening.
They have to get back now. Yeah.
Ice tries for the fissure. This is a good TP.
Oh, a
almost.
facial with the arrow. Ninja Boogie goes down. And with that, they're going to continue their high ground push. Primal Roar, anything to stop them from taking our home. Followed up with the Earth Spike, but that tier 3 is going down. And now they see a precious little Chrissy just came back from the dead. Might be put back in the grave once more. He goes down. How is going in? Jo shows though, gets off a nice Spirit Lance. He still has that Aegis. Even the Glimmer Cape coming out to elongate that first life. Looks like it's going to be successful. Eats the finger. That will be the Aegis. Now Vici Gaming maybe hoping to just get some good damage on the racks before they have to pull back. Their escape plan maybe in this Moonlight Shadow. Popped off for right now, but there's going to be the Glyph prolonging their stay. Super decides to pop the BKB. Now looking to go in on Cass. Cass, can he make it away from this one? The arrow there from FY greets him. They get the racks down. Ice commits forward, but not going to be following it up with anything. Doesn't see the opportunity he went for. And with that, they're going to clear out the second racks here. Gentlemen, this looks to be the beginning of the end here for game 1. 5-20 now for Vici Gaming.
Did Jo buy a bottle? Can we check whose bottle that is
Man.
in his inventory? Wow, that's how desperate he is to hold off a push.
Uh-oh. Oh, he tried to Glimmer Cape in and take advantage of that arrow, but...
Usually you'll see PLs go bottle like sometimes in laning phase, but he's using it for base defense, which means like he knows that they just need any sort of net worth in their inventory right now to stop that. And at the end of the day, it's fruitless.
They are going to smoke out here.
Not if they have mangoes.
Fill your inventory out with mangoes.
That's not fruitless. All right, well, now again, another one of the smoke plays. Got the bird. Free 60 gold coming out for FY, but Rave are trying to find opportunities here. They adventure out from the side gate of their base. Could run to Fenrir, who's a precious little support farming up, but they're
Straight
not going to go for
ignored.
him. They want How. That is the big prize. He comes in, but he's a fast little fishy, and he's trying to make it away here. Now the Thunder God's Wrath, but the Fissure going to put him on the other side. Ice jumps in with a big Echo, gets the clear out. He'll go down. That's a bounty picked up, but it's How now, who's looking to charge on in. The Necro Book is out, though, coming out from Rior. There's the Primal Roll follow-up. They could get How here, and he does go down. It's a 3-for-2 trade for Rave right now, but Super's now showing up. Pops his BKB, looking to move in. Chrissy trying to make it away. Ninja Boogie gets caught with the FY arrow. He goes down. Chrissy and Rior, they got to get the hell out, and they will make it away.
Did you see FY? He almost Starstormed for the... He would have killed himself in the Necro Book.
Oh.
That would have looked really good. That would have been one for the low light reel. That was still a really good fight for Rave. They actually managed to pull back like almost 4,000 gold, and this is of course the new version, so the comeback mechanics they're less apparent than in previous versions. Or yeah, how much would that have been in 683? Like that would have been a 6,000 gold swing, I think. 5 or 6k. They got 3.5 there, right? So something like that.
The XP is still pretty good.
Yeah.
So and they could certainly use
Still.
it. There's a nice little bump right there we saw. There's a little something there, a little flaccid.
They're almost
thing
back in
there.
it.
Yeah, Vici definitely were not ready for that. No Aegis. He wasn't able to pop his BKB in time because he got hexed. No defensive disruption, and they used Echo and BKB at the same time because they were panicked, in a state of panic, trying to save How. So I don't think they'll be caught off guard by that again, especially since they'll probably take down next Roshan next couple of minutes. Oh, it's a long respawn.
So we do have a quick instant replay of this engagement now. They look to be going on How, but Ice showed up, laid down that huge dunk, and How was able to kind of slip on the back. But this was Rave's best chance. A smoke that finally worked out, but working out was only breaking even at this point and hoping to add an extra 5, maybe 10 minutes to the game. It was a huge fight. We question whether or not it's enough. Maybe just, like I say, that step 1 of a 10-step process in this kind of a game.
Yeah, if they get another 5 fights like that, then maybe. But I think they're out of smokes, so it's hard to imagine how they're ever going to get an initiation like that again without a smoke.
And here they are, Vici Gaming, like sharks in water outside of the base. Yeah, we're coming in now, boys. We already hit that top set of racks. They got to go. Wild Arrow flies out, catches the boar, of course. And now How looking to move in. Primal Roar already leading. Glimmer Cape. And now even a disruption. They're pulling out all the stops to save out their precious How. He's alive and well, and he's starting to flak away here, but his priority is going to be on that tier 3. Just looking to zone them back. FY jumps in. Starfall not going to be connecting on anything, and it's over. Ninja Boogie says there's no way we can stop him, and that's going to be game. And Vici Gaming, they come into this first game looking like the favorites that everyone were anticipating. Rave, not the showing a lot of us were hoping to see after having a month off.
They just got destroyed in the lanes.
Honestly, they're still looking like they're playing 6.83. With the Phantom Lancer early pick, with the Zeus pick even, with the Lina and the Lion supports, like everything just reminds me of 6.83, and just a general playstyle of 4 Protect 1, hope that Phantom Lancer gets farm. And Vici comes out with a far more aggressive strategy, completely controls the PL. He had like